at long last, we are here for the opening game of the Season 9 Hoops League Association season. I'm Cyclops, I'm joined in the booth by Assassin and Salty as usual. And boy, do we have a great game for you here tonight. The Phoenix Firebirds and their new look squad taking on the St. Louis Archers, fresh off of their first ever postseason series win. Our primetime performance tonight featuring some of the brightest talent in the league. So let's get right to analyzing this matchup, which of course has to start with the offseason. Everybody's been talking about it. It's hard to even cut through all the noise, but Phoenix, guys, a lot of changes this offseason. They bring in Lamar Chambers. They bring in Ricardo Bizzoni, those two reuniting from their San Diego Surf days. And now, after a surprise victory last year over LA in the opening round, they have a squad they think can contend for a title. So I want to ask you straight up, is this, in your mind, a contending team? Can they, the Phoenix Firebirds, win a title with this squad?
Well, I think they can contend all right, but I don't think they're really that team that can really make a threat to the finals. You got the guys that can score, you got the guys that can defend, but I just don't feel it with this squad. Do you really trust a guy like Lamar Chambers, who's on the older side, to be leading your team to the finals? Yeah, I would really think so.
Apologies to our 27-year-old viewers for being described as old there, but Assassin, possibly a differing take, or are you going to agree with Salty?
I think that what Salty is saying would have had merit if he used a little bit of a better metric, and for me it's always prove it. You know, this team came together, but they're all a lot of new additions, as you mentioned, Cyclops, a lot of free agent additions. We have to see how these guys mesh together, right? Because we talk about on paper all the time, and we've seen a number of teams that were great on paper fail. I mean, just Indiana. The last few years, they had some good teams, and they failed to really make the playoffs or do anything with that. So, for me, it's always going to be proof that they can do it, and they're going to have a test here. The Archers, albeit playoff chokers, are a very good team, and you know, throwing them into the fire early. But this is the test that you want if you're Phoenix. You want to go out there, you want to prove people wrong, you want to shut up people like Salty who might say this or that. So for Phoenix, prove it. That's what they have to do. Sure, on paper, contending team, but you got to go out there and prove it.
We will see if they can do that tonight. And you are very right to say the Archers, quite the challenge for the first game of the season for any team, especially one that has not seen a lot of floor action together. St. Louis, obviously, last season, another solid year, went 27-18, finished second in the East. They beat out the Empire in the first round, 6 games, ended up getting swept by the Eastern Conference champion Atlanta. Now Talons, we should call them, rebranding over the offseason. Here they are with a very similar squad, led by Tyler Gaines and Joey Bass. They did move on from Pierre Brodeur in the offseason, but they've got the same fundamental infrastructure. This is one of the deepest teams in the league. What type of trouble, Assassin, since you mentioned that they are going to be a challenge, what type of trouble do you think they can cause Phoenix with their style of play?
Well, obviously, they're fast, right? The Archers are fast. They're a high-octane offense. Tyler Gaines is a great shooter. You know, you're gonna have to field attacks from all of Joey Bass is a very versatile player. The truth of the matter for this team is getting it done in big games, and so I think that this is also a test for the Archers, because I mentioned that the Firebirds have to prove something, and they do. I stand by that. But on paper, they do have talent. So for the Archers to get a start against a talented team, I like this for them as well, because this has been their biggest issue, Cyclops. I mean, you know that they've lost series that people predicted they would not lose, and really some series that they had no business losing. So for this team, there's a lot of trouble they can cause on the perimeter and just being a quick team. So I expect them to do that tonight, and I expect them to look good doing it, because Tyler Gaines is one of the most certified buckets in the league.
He is an absolute A1 superstar. So to that end, Salty, who do you see coming out on top tonight, and who's going to be the key player to the game, in your estimation?
After what they've done in the playoffs, I think that St. Louis has proven that they are a real threat to the league. I think they're going to be the ones to win it, and I think it's going to be solely behind Tyler Gaines. He is a lethal scorer to match the threat of Poland Strunk in his conference. He can pop off for 30 at any time if you don't pay enough attention to him. And you sag off him a little bit, he's letting it fly. You step up, he's driving to the rim. He's going to be that scorer that I think that Phoenix will not be able to contain, and Gaines will lead them to a victory.
What about you, Assassin? We haven't even mentioned his name, but you think the reigning MVP Beef Jerky could lead Phoenix to victory here, or is it going to be, as Salty says, an Archers win to start the season?
I would agree with Salty. I picked the Archers here for the simple reason of what I said earlier, proven. And for the Firebirds, I'll be intently watching how they play this game, because I do want to see if they can prove it. The Archers, for their playoff mishaps, are a team that has won in the regular season, or a team that's won big games before. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the team that's proven it, just because that's what I've said earlier. But I'm not writing off Phoenix. I mean, the truth of the matter is that Beef Jerky is the reigning MVP. But you asked me to pick an X Factor, I'm obviously going to pick Tyler Gaines, because three-point shooting in basketball, that changes games. And if Tyler Gaines is hitting from downtown, I don't care how many post-ups Beef Jerky makes, three's more than two.
It certainly is. We will see if those insights ring true, or if Phoenix is able to pull off a surprising road victory in the first game of the Chambers-Bazzoni Beef Jerky era. That's coming to you next year on Hoops League TV. Don't go anywhere. We'll have it for you in a minute. Now we welcome you back into the booth for this inaugural game of Season 9 of the Hoops League. Take a quick look at the starting lineups before we get started here. It is Erasmo Mendoza, acquired in an offseason trade from Indiana, who starts at the point for the Firebirds. Ricardo Bazzoni joins him in the backcourt, obviously signed in free agency, most recently with the Chicago Blues, but he spent the bulk of his career in San Diego. Lamar Chambers, his former teammate in San Diego, also signed with Phoenix in free agency. He starts at the small forward spot. And the two constants in Phoenix lineup from last season, the one that took him to the conference finals, Justin Taylor and the reigning MVP Beef Jerky. For St. Louis, it is a mostly consistent lineup from last year's conference finals team, save for the center spot. That's occupied by Davion Oreo, replacing the departed Pierre Brodeur, who signed with Portland this offseason. Joey Bass and Tyler Gaines are the backcourt duo, as they have been now for 4 seasons running. Got him to the conference finals last year and hungry for more after getting swept there by Atlanta. Tone Show and Pippy Big Pippy, meanwhile, acquired from the Boston Charms last season, proven winners. They start at the 3 and the 4 to round out the St. Louis lineup. It is St. Louis and it is Phoenix, and it is the first game of the Hoops League Season 9 season. We are glad to be bringing it to you. Tip-offs won here by Erasmo Mendoza and the Phoenix Firebirds. Won by Jerky, I should say, as Mendoza will get to the rim and lay that one in. Davion Oreo, Assassin, backed off a bit on that shot. That matchup is going to be huge for St. Louis.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned it early, because that was exactly what I was thinking. As Big Pippy puts that one up and in from 17 feet. Davion Oreo is replacing Pierre Brodeur, and Pierre Brodeur, phenomenal defensive player. So that is a huge defensive hole that this team is now missing. Davion Oreo, I know I picked Tyler Gaines to be the difference maker, and I still think that he has the potential to be the big difference maker, but you're going to need to see more from Davion Oreo on that defensive side, or Beef Jerky might just run you over, as Ricardo Bazzoni runs over the rim on that dunk.
He certainly did. Meanwhile, Tyler Gaines trying to get himself going, but misses that 3. Neither side able to hit from 3 early. Bozzoni's first points in a Phoenix uniform come in the form of a dunk. Here's Justin Taylor working on Pippi, who might have gotten a piece of it. Don't Show will rebound it and take it the other way. As the Archers working into the paint, and Show will pull up on a little hook shot there. Crowded in the paint, able to get it to go. Great pass from Mendoza downstairs. There's Lamar Chambers putting his name in the score sheet for the first time as a member of the Firebirds. And Tyler Gaines will hit the little 10-foot jumper in the paint. Both teams working it into the lane early. Bozzoni pulls up on a deep 2 and knocks it down. Well, that's what he brings you. Ricardo Bozzoni, just an elite shot maker, Salty.
Yeah, he's definitely been the guy that's been taking shots. He's been powerful throughout his time, throughout the teams. So we can see from his playoff runs and his time at San Diego Surf as Chambers. He floats in. He was also a great scorer for his squads. Notably, yeah.
Lost the ball there, Joe Bass. Oreo will recover it. Lost it again. Now going to have to hoist one up from downtown, and that one won't even hit the rim. Shot clock violation. And we'll see Alex Garza check in for St. Louis, signed in the offseason from Indiana as part of the mass exodus on that team. Already penciled in for many as a potential 6th Man of the Year winner. This is Bozzoni up top, and he just exploits every little gap you give him. Pippi, a second's hesitation assassin, and Ricardo Bozzoni, already up to 7 points, makes him pay.
Can't hesitate around a shooter. And that's something that St. Louis should know of all teams. They have a formidable backcourt, as Big Pippi's off to a fantastic start. But you have a formidable backcourt. You should know you got to step up on those, and can't give him that kind of space.
Beef jerky, well defended there by Davion Oreo. Perhaps he heard us from the sideline there. Other way, St. Louis taking it, and there's Joey Bass looping it in. Phoenix will call timeout. So, some changes here. Jamie Spencer and the rookie Adam Moses into the game in the backcourt for Phoenix. As LaMarcus Howard, another offseason addition, comes into the game as well. Jared Anderson now on the floor for St. Louis, as Chambers a perfect 3 of 3 to start his Firebirds career. Anderson into Pippi, who has the hot hand, kicks to the corner. Gaines, can he get it going? Yes, he can! Tyler Gaines from the corner, working on the rookie Adam Moses, who didn't even put a hand up. Can't do that against one of the best shooters in the game, though he is only 1 of 4 to start this season. Moses, and then Jamie Spencer. Over to Jerky, double teamed and blocked, but Howard came down with a rebound. Out to Moses, who got fouled on the 3-point attempt. So Adam Moses will head to the line.
Undisciplined from games. You've been in the league too long to do that.
Bad closeout indeed. Moses here at the line, the quality college product, was a champion in college last season. Put up almost 15 points a game for the national champion quality college Goats. And he knocks down all 3 free throws there. This is Alex Garza over Leonel Felicio, and Garza will knock that one down. Seems like, correct me if I'm wrong,
gets to work in.
that I was going to say St. Louis's offense has moved away from the 3 early, as LaMarcus Howard will chip that one in.
Well, Cyclops, I was just going to point out how these teams are moving out slowly and slowly. We started with an interior paint battle as we go back to a paint attempt. But we started with an interior paint battle, and now we're seeing teams shoot more hook shots, more mid-range jumpers. It seems like both teams are trying to settle into things. But I think that this game might come down to who can get comfortable on all 3 levels first. Because right now, as you mentioned, the 3-point shot has not really been falling.
Indeed not, as Spencer got fouled there. They call that a 1 or a 2 or a 3, not clear. A couple of substitutions. Redford Bandit and the veteran Kachio Way will come in for St. Louis alongside second-year player Jack Cole. Meanwhile, journeyman Tristan Ewer, supposed to be a regular part of the rotation, as they have confirmed it's a 3-point attempt here for Spencer. Missed the first, and will get the next 2 to fall. Tristan Ewer making an appearance for Phoenix. That is a concern, which we'll have to address later in the game as we come down to the end of the quarter here. That one, a busted play, and it worked out that it came down to Jack Cole's hands. He lays it in. 3-point lead for Phoenix here. About a 3-second difference between shot and game clock there. Spencer for 3, no good. Rebound to Kachio Way, who takes it the other way. 4 seconds. Oh, what a feed! Redford pinned and got out of the foul! Great transition
That was a great
offense.
pass to find the open man, draw the foul as well. He's going to the line to possibly tie the game.
An excellent pass from
And
Kachio Way, the veteran.
does.
3 seconds to go in this quarter. That'll be Monte Ice to heave it up, and it comes up short. And that will be how we end the first quarter of action in this inaugural game of Season 9. 22 apiece. Phoenix and St. Louis tied after 1. Any quick insights as we proceed to the second quarter, gents?
Yeah, I think it was a great last couple plays by St. Louis to end the quarter. But if I'm Phoenix, I feel pretty good because honestly, I know that St. Louis is shooting near 60% from the field, and the statistics would tell you I'm wrong. But they just look a little bit uncomfortable, which is not what you would have expected to see from them on their home floor to open the season. Phoenix, for a team that was just assembled and hasn't played much together, they looked very cohesive for much of that quarter. I still favor St. Louis. I'm not going to switch up after the first quarter, but I do think if you're Phoenix, you feel pretty good about how that first quarter went, given all things considered. You're on the road, and you really haven't had that much time to gel. You had St. Louis for a second there, but they're starting to find their footing, and really, you got to hold Gaines in check.
Certainly do. Meanwhile, Salty, the new duo for Phoenix, Chambers and Bozzoni, combined for 13 of their 22 points in that first quarter.
Yeah, they have been an excellent scoring duo. They have been making fine work of this St. Louis defense, proving that their veteran scoring will be valuable to a Phoenix postseason run. But something I have noticed is that Beef Jerky, he's awfully quiet. They can only see him shoot one shot, and it was a double-teamed contested one that was easily swatted away. I think he needs to get more active in the paint. I mean, you're the MVP. You only have one shot. That's kind of odd.
Indeed. Have to see if Jerky can get more involved in these coming quarters. 22 apiece after 1. We'll move on to the second. So we welcome you back for the second quarter of action here, getting started again in a tie ball game. This is Noel Stoner, the veteran, laying that one in. He was a big part of St. Louis's success in round 1 last year against New York. A proven winner, won 2 titles with Boston, acquired last season in a trade from Denver. He has been excellent for him. Another former Denver altitude player, Monte Ice, will get to the rack and lay that one in. Little loop pass there to Stoner. And then to Jack Cole. Into the paint, Jack Cole just makes Leonel Felicio look like he may as well not have been there. Puts that one in, he's got 4. This is Tristan Ewer. Getting a screen from Andre Santos, the former New York Empire player. And Ewer, a little push shot will go. Tristan Ewer playing for his 7th team. Just keeps finding ways get onto a roster. Valuable two-way contributor.
I have to build off of my co-star Salty's point at the end of the first. This game has taken place in the paint a lot. There's a lot of plays as we hit a pick and roll. Spencer takes the shot off of it for 3, knocks it down. A wonderful shot by Spencer, but a lot of this game has taken place in the paint. That's what you would have wanted if you're Phoenix. And yet Beef Jerky has not been a factor. That is something that I do not like to see if I am a fan of the Firebirds.
Potentially a concerning sign for them, as you say. Phoenix will come out of timeout here with a bit of the starting lineup back in. Everybody besides Jerky and Taylor. Andre Santos will lay that one in. He's got his first points in a Firebirds uniform. Meanwhile, back into the paint. What a pass by Joey Bass! And Kachio Way will throw it down on top of Jamie Spencer and Lamar Chambers. Boy, I didn't know he had that type of hops in his bag, but Kachio Way pulls that one out to get the crowd on its feet. Here is Spencer, another three. Took a bad hop and rolled out. Way, meanwhile, going the other way, puts up the elbow jumper and knocks it down. Got you away, giving him some good minutes off the bench here early.
He has played very well off the bench, Cyclops, because you can't forget that pass that he made that really started that end of quarter run for him. As Spencer, another three, the corner there.
Jamie Spencer starting to heat up. He has gotten 2 threes to go and was fouled on an attempt earlier. St. Louis calls a timeout, getting some of their more shooters on the floor. As Jerky gets split. Oh my goodness! There's Tyler Gaines to the rack. Jerky hit the floor from the dribble move. The sweet handles turn into 2 points, and we're tied at 34. With 2:27 and counting to go here in the first half. There's Lamar Chambers laying another one in. He still hasn't missed today. 8 points from the free agent acquisition. Another pass there by Bass into the paint, and then the quick rapid-fire passes find Tyler Gaines open. He'll knock that one down for 2.
Ooh, Cyclops, don't let that man get hot. He is a bad, bad man when he gets hot, and he's starting to find a rhythm.
Speaking of bad men, how about
Lamar Chambers?
From that corner.
He's in a rhythm too, Cyclops. He's in a rhythm too.
We're starting to see the superstars shine here as we near the end of the first half. Davion Oriol blocked by Jerky, got it back, laid it up, no good. Rebound, Jack Cole. He got stuffed. I think he might have hit the underside of the board there. Meanwhile,
I think he did.
Bazzoni got fouled. Another bad closeout foul by Tyler Gaines.
It's the second one on Tyler Gaines. I said it before and I'll say it again. You have been in the league too long to let that happen, and now you're giving them 3 points.
Those points are going to help Bazzoni get into a rhythm even more, and that's going to hurt him at the end of the day if he hits all three throws for 10 points.
Well, that's just it, Salty. Bazzoni and Chambers look amazing. Don't give them more reason to be on fire right now.
Here is Tyler Gaines,
who's
looking pretty good. Oh, yes, sir. Tyler Gaines really heating up in this second quarter. He's up to 12 points on the night, and he's made his last 2 from downtown. This is Bazzoni. Over to Jerky. Little push shot. The 11-footer will go. There's his first points of the game. Still being defended pretty well by Davion Oriol as far as these things go. As Pippi will lay that one up and in. He's got 8 points on the day. Mendoza around a screen. Into the paint. And he gets that one to go. Erasmo Mendoza. Oh, and they call a foul. How about Erasmo Mendoza getting another foul off of St. Louis here? And another
at some point, as a coach, you got to pull your guys aside, and you got to talk about it because they've committed far more penalties. Has Phoenix committed a shooting foul?
I'm not sure. As Tone Show will knock that one down.
As Show will knock down the 3.
Big time 3 from Tone Show. One that they needed to quell some of this Phoenix momentum. But absolutely, the fouls have been a problem for St. Louis. 39 seconds to go here in this first half. Bazzoni just gets around Tyler Gaines and lays that one in. 12 points from him. Lamar Chambers has 11. 23 points from the free agent superstar duo. As Tyler Gaines puts up a tough moving shot, no good. Rebound came out to Davion Oriol, though. Joey Bass will reset with it, gives it to Oreo. He has struggled from the field, but he got that one to go. 3-point game here, about a 4-second difference between shot and game clock. Erasmo Mendoza got the screen, rolled into the paint, and got it to go. He's got 7 points. This is Tyler Gaines with 4. Gaines pulling up. And that one no good. As we will end this first half, 51-46. Our score, Phoenix, the Road Warriors, leading this one, shooting a remarkable 70% from the field. As St. Louis is 61.8, that'll win you most games, but so far not this one. So looking at the box score, Assassin, I got a good feeling what you would have to say if I brought up rebounding and how sometimes, despite winning on the offensive glass, you struggle in games.
Well, the rebounds don't matter if the opponent's shooting 70%. I mean, I'll take less rebounds because I'm not rebounding my misses. And that's the simple truth about Phoenix. They're in a rhythm. They're in a flow. They look great. And I mentioned this at the end of the first. They look like they had St. Louis off guard. Now you see for sure they kind of have St. Louis is stumbling a bit. Like they were not expecting Phoenix to come out this hot without beef jerky being the factor. Because I have to give credit to Davion Oreo. He has kept the ball away from jerky, and that's what you needed him to do. But everybody else on the interior defense has been awful. They have not guarded the interior well. They have not guarded the three-point line well. Hell, they haven't kept their hands to themselves well. You can shut down jerky, but if you let Ricardo Bazzoni and Chambers be whatever they want to be, well, they're really good basketball players, Cyclops. And let me tell you, those two can replace beef jerky as they're doing right now with their shooting, with their shot making, with their creating. And that's what's happening right now. For St. Louis, they don't have that rhythm going. We're seeing them go cold for a little bit. Tyler Gaines had that run, but then we saw him make some bad plays afterwards. St. Louis, surprisingly enough, they're the home team, but they're the ones that really have to settle down in this third quarter, because right now, Phoenix looks damn good.
They have indeed. Salty, you got anything to add to that, or any particular other observations?
I think that Phoenix has been looking very good with their duo of scores with Bazzoni and Chambers. These guys are mostly taking the work off of the other guys, helping them settle in, taking the shots, taking the work. They've been the glue guys in this situation that have been hard-working and helping them win. As for St. Louis, they've been getting gritty with their guys. Pippi has been better since his playoff run where he had struggled. And overall, it looks like a very competitive game between these two teams.
It has been very competitive so far. We will see if that continues to be true in the second half, which we have coming to you in just a moment. We welcome you back for the second half of basketball here in St. Louis. Archers trailing by 5 after that first half. We'll get started again here. Tyler Gaines with it up top. He had a good first half. He will knock down the 16-footer. 6 of 11, actually not his most consistent shooting performance, but he did enough to keep them in the game. Meanwhile, Ricardo Bazzoni has had the hot hand for Phoenix. He will knock down that 24-footer. Oh, he had his foot on the line, actually. No three-pointer, but 14 points from him. Only missed one shot today. He has been sensational. Here is Bass. Around a screen. Got it to go. There's Joey Bass. A name we didn't mention much in the first half. Significant that he can hit that three. He needs to be on for St. Louis to be in this game. There is Bazzoni to knock down the 19-footer at the other end.
Cyclops, at some point, I'm taking Tyler Gaines off of Bazzoni because right now he's in form to kill me on his own, as Tone show, looking to try to join in the three-point barrage. But Ricardo Bazzoni couldn't have asked for a better performance from him if you're Phoenix.
Absolutely not so far. Justin Taylor, meanwhile, off the pass from Bazzoni. Working it in, shot clock winding down. Chambers tightly covered, still knocks it down. My goodness, Lamar Chambers, in the face of one of the best defenders in the league in Tone Joe, still hasn't missed a shot. 14 points from him. And yet Phoenix only up 4.
Dogfight from beyond the arc as Pippi, he's going to drive his way to the lane to put it in. It has been a dogfight anywhere they decide to score at. From the three-point line down to paint, it's been aggressive basketball as we're going to see a miss from Jerky.
Indeed, Jerky just 1 of 4 on today. The former MVP has struggled as Erasmo Mendoza stuffs Joey Bass. A great defensive play from the young guard. Jerky, meanwhile, kicks it back up top to Mendoza. And here is Chambers. Height, off-balance 3. That one no good. And St. Louis able to get it to go the other way. Here is And now Big Pippy stops and pops on the 3. How about that shot from Big Pippy? Gives St. Louis a 1-point lead. Quietly, he has had a very good game. Mendoza working it into the paint. Oh, spins through everybody, lays it in. 9 points, 5 assists in his starting debut. Had not started a game in his career before this one. He has been excellent. Joey Bass, meanwhile, trying to get going from 3, no good, but Tone Show the rebound. What the? Wow! Found him wide open in the paint. Defensive collapse from Phoenix, pardon. And now St. Louis back on top by 1 as they trade leads. Mendoza facing the double, splits it and goes to the rack. Another great layup from Erasmo Mendoza. He has been excellent. Don't show around a screen. And then Tyler Gaines, 3-pointer, no. Got his own rebound, no. Pizzoni able to get there and recover into the paint. And again, he goes to Mendoza. That time, no good. Got his own rebound, puts that back up and in. We got to start having a conversation about Erasmo Mendoza, Assassin.
Cyclops. Erasmo Mendoza has been having a phenomenal performance. But if I am a coach, to all the coaches out there who want their importance of defense, turn on St. Louis game, watch this defense absolutely sink back on some of these lanes. It's a little for the interior.
It has been far too easy for Phoenix. Meanwhile, Tyler Gaines gets an easy look at the 3-point line there. Miscommunication leaves him open. He's got 17 points. As Spencer has that one poked away for a second. Spencer, meanwhile, puts up a 3. That's no good. Rebound, Alex Garza. Garza taking it the other way. Minute 11 to go now. It's Tyler Gaines! Throws that one down, and we're even at 66 with time winding down here in the third quarter. Spencer around a screen. Gives back to Taylor. Miscommunication. Ball's turned over. Jared Anderson hands it off to Garza and then back to Anderson. Under a minute to go here in the third. Anderson puts up a 3. No. Rebound Jerky. Beef Jerky. Throws it to Jamie Spencer. A little layup's good. Great creation there from the MVP, reigning MVP center. 68-66. Heading down the pipe here in the third quarter. Jared Anderson backs down on Jamie Spencer, lays that one in. Phoenix will take a timeout. Couple of backups in the game for both teams here. This is Adam Moses. And then Felicio, who has been quiet today, trying to work on Tone Show. Little push shot is good from that side block. Lionel Felicio able to get it to go. And Noel Stoner will lay that one in. 70 apiece, 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Monte Ice into the paint to Adam Moses, rattles one home. 72-70. Garza with 3 seconds. Alex Garza to Noel Stoner. Did he get fouled? Oh my goodness, he got fouled by the rookie Adam Moses on that attempt. Wow. Talk about a backbreaking foul.
That is a bad foul.
I had called out the fouls by Tyler Gaines, and yet somehow this, the worst foul of the game. I know you're a rookie, Adam. That is a mistake you cannot make.
Absolutely, as we will end this third quarter tied at 72 apiece. Boy, it looked like Phoenix was going to go in with a lead to the fourth quarter, but instead, a couple of bad plays down the line. They end up with a terrible foul on that final possession of the game, the quarter. And it is 72 apiece heading into the fourth quarter. So the shooting still red hot for both teams, Assassin. Is this going to be just an absolute dogfight, blow for blow down to the end of the game, or do you think the defensive intensity will turn up a bit here in the fourth?
I can't say I'm going to bet on something I haven't seen. Neither team has really found their footing defensively. But I will say Phoenix should be very disappointed in the third quarter because they were the best team, but they lose the quarter by 5 and go into the fourth quarter tied. They should have a lead. Everything that I saw them in that third, the team in that quarter, and yet they walk out of the quarter losers. For St. Louis, you feel great because honestly, Tyler Gaines 8 for 14. I know it's gonna sound ridiculous, but he hasn't had his best game, hasn't? He's 3 of 9 from deep, and I know that's not far off of 50%, but when you see what Bozzoni and Chambers are doing over there, they're making everything they look at. Tyler Gaines hasn't been as automatic as those guys. St. Louis still has another notch they can get to. For Phoenix, it's the fourth quarter, Cyclops. Where the fuck is beef jerky? Have to ask that question because through 3 quarters, yes, he's made a flashy pass. He had a couple of buckets, but he's not helping his team secure the victory on the scoreboard. And if they walked into that quarter, looked like the better team, and still lost the quarter, Cyclops, that's a sign that your MVP needs to show up, and he has not shown up so far. I'm worried for Phoenix that if they don't get something from Beef, they're going to be relying solely on the efforts of Bozzoni. And Bozzoni's a great player. Mendoza's been super great as well, but you need guys who are closers, and if there's somebody who should be a closer on this roster, it's the reigning MVP.
Absolutely, a very valid insight there, Salty. I want to hear from you about St. Louis. What do they need to do to close this game out?
I think St. Louis needs to lock down on the two main threats of Bozzoni and Chalmers. Those guys have been lighting it up from the floor and are basically the main parts of the offense. If they get slowed down or come to a complete halt, then Phoenix is basically done for. Spencer has been okay at best. Taylor has been lackluster, and Beef Jerky, like Assassin said, has gone to the gas station to pick himself up a jug of milk and has been nowhere to be seen.
It has been a
Well,
conspicuous
here's the thing I have
absence.
to ask you. Here's the thing I have to ask you, Salty. Does St. Louis have the defensive capability? Because we haven't seen it so far. And I know they lost Pierre Brodeur. And I know it's a lot of pressure on Oreo. But do they have the defensive capability?
I think that with a guy like Tone Show, I think it's possible for them to get it done. But Tone has to play the best defense he has this season, which completely is fair considering it's the first game. He has to play the best defense he has this game in order to lock down these guys and just manage to snag the win for them.
We will see if they're able to do that. Seems like we're heading towards a very exciting finish in this one. 72 apiece after the third quarter. We'll be back in a minute. Welcoming you back here for the fourth quarter of action. 5 minutes stands between one of these teams and a win, or between us and overtime. We'll see which one is the case here in just a bit. This is, oh my goodness, a foul on the shot, and he got it! Another mistake on the closeout on the three-point line, Assassin. Just like you said, now a chance for a 4-point play for Phoenix.
And Salty, I ask again, does St. Louis have the defensive capabilities? Because as much as Jerky isn't showing up, St. Louis's inability to control their hands on the perimeter sure is giving the Phoenix Firebirds a lot of help.
Well, if they stop making these stupid fouls failing to close out, then they could have a shot. But so far, they have been pretty lackluster on the defensive side. And you're letting Tristan Ewers score. This is his ninth team.
It's amazing.
How are you letting him score?
Tristan Ewers working it in on Tone Show. It's a show. One of the best defenders in the game has really struggled today. Meanwhile, Alex Garza giving them a spark here off the bench. Lays that one in from the free throw line.
I saw Tone Show all up on Chambers. shot,
Oh my goodness.
and I saw that go in, and
foul.
are you kidding me?
Are you
Are you kidding me?
serious?
Just incredibly
This is
poor defense
ridiculous.
from the Archers. That's a second foul on Noah Stoner. There have been 5 fouls on 3-point attempts today from the St. Louis Archers. Jamie Spencer
ridiculous.
knocks those 3 down. He is 6
Cyclops.
of 7 from the free throw line.
Cyclops. Noel Stoner and Tyler Gaines both have 2 fouls of directly the same caliber as we see Anderson knock down a 3
there from Jared Anderson.
That's a massive 3 to cut the lead to 2. But I don't know. It might be time to see if the refs have a bias against Afros, because I don't know how it keeps happening.
Great defense there by Alex Garza on top of Lamar Chambers. Didn't matter. He's got 16 points in his Firebirds debut and a 4-point lead for Phoenix to boot. This is Stoner kicking it out to Ricky Jiggs. Shot clock winding down and the ball goes out of bounds. Miscommunication. Nothing going St. Louis's way here to start this fourth quarter. Besides that Anderson 3, but they are still only down by 4. Erasmo Mendoza, who has been fantastic in his Phoenix debut today, gives to Jamie Spencer, who's been giving him trouble in this matchup. Great feed from Spencer. And Erasmo Mendoza, the most unlikely, perhaps, 15-point scorer coming into this game, but he is playing a fantastic game. Anderson got fouled on the 3-point attempts, and that is Mendoza. Oh my goodness, the announcer curse strikes. As Jared Anderson with 3 big free throws. Knocking down the first. He has been excellent off the bench for St. Louis, the 8-year veteran, just making plays to keep them in this game.
Well, clearly he's the only one who got the memo that the fourth quarter is the most important.
Well, Marcus Howard, meanwhile, taking it the other way. Oh, what a feed into the paint, Mendoza. It is so easy for Phoenix right now. Beautiful basketball as the pass from Howard to Santos, Santos to Mendoza turns into 2, and a 6-point lead, the largest they've had in a couple of minutes here. Stoner, big-time shot on Bozzoni to knock the lead back down to 4. Giving him something on the offensive end after he gave him negative effort on the defensive end. There's Howard on the low block. And St. Louis needs a timeout. Starting lineup besides Tone Show is back into the game for St. Louis. Joey Bass has been quiet in this one, just 5 points. Wide open, Pippi. Oh my goodness, he blows the mid-range jumper. Could not have been more open.
Closer to the basket.
Yeah, you have to wonder why he didn't drive. Meanwhile, Howard will spin around 2 defenders and lay it in. 6 points and 4 rebounds from the journeyman. He has been good off the bench as well. And now an 8-point lead as we near the 2-minute mark for the visiting Firebirds. Tyler Gaines makes it happen. Spun through the defense. He's got 21, and he will have to be big for them if they want to come back here. Meanwhile, Mendoza working on Bass. Great job by Bass to cut him off. Bozzoni up top. Holding it, one-on-one, pulls on the deep 3, no! And a rebound to Garza. Alex Garza with the lane clear to the basket, lays it in. 8 points from Garza off the bench in a critical role. Minute 39, it's a 4-point game. Bozzoni to Mendoza to Beef Jerky! Oh, there's the former MVP, throwing it down big time from outside the paint. It's a 6-point lead for Phoenix, 90 seconds to go. Garza, hook shot, no good, rebound Gaines, he lost it, rebound Garza, no, again Gaines tips it in, 4th time's the charm, and St. Louis doing everything they can to fight back now. They have come alive. Chambers, up top, around a screen. Chambers working on Davian Oreo, tough double team shot, great defense there, and Gaines grabs the rebound. Tyler Gaines. Gets a screen from Pippi. Gets double team. Kicks to Garza. Tough contested 3. No good. Rebound Jerky. Under a minute to go. A 4-point lead for Phoenix, and they've got the ball. Jerky lost it for a second. Gives to Chambers now. One-on-one with Garza. Shot clock winding down. Has to put up a 3. No good. Rebound Bozzoni. And a fresh 14 for the Firebirds. Chambers into the paint. What a feed. Wide open Howard. He didn't get
he blew it.
He did not get it. Pippi, meanwhile, the other way, gives to Bass, and he... Oh, what a play! And a chance to get it to a 1-point game, with 33.4 to go. Bass missed it! He missed the free throw, and Phoenix grabs the rebound. Under 30 seconds to go, and Mendoza, a clear lane to the bucket, lays it in. He's got 19. 24 seconds, a 4-point lead for Phoenix. St. Louis has to make something happen. Bass puts up a 3. No! Rebound Oreo. Oreo to Gaines. Gives to Pippi. Back to Gaines. 13 seconds to go. Gaines puts up the 3. Spit! 1-point game. 10 seconds to go. Tyler Gaines keeping St. Louis alive. And Mendoza now has to be fouled by Joey Bass. Everybody's tired here in the Gateway City. Missed the first free throw. St. Louis was still with both teams 2 timeouts. Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Pippi, timeout St. Louis.
No way.
9.3 seconds to go. A chance to win the game. Here. Bass with 5. Bass with 4 to Gaines. Gaines puts up a 3.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Tyler Gaines! 0.6 of a second. It is over. And St. Louis comes out victorious in the most unlikely of fashion. Oh my goodness. What a comeback in the final minute of the game.
I have never seen a team snatch defeat from the jaws of victory quite like I just watched Phoenix do. What a shot by Tyler Gaines, though. No denying that was a horrible shot that he made. My goodness, what a comeback from St. Louis.
There is realistically no way that shot should have gone in, but his prayer is answered.
Just a phenomenal play from a phenomenal player. Deep near the logo, just knocks it down with Bozzoni in his face. Turned aside the Big Pippi screen. Oh my goodness, and this was a game Phoenix led by 8 with under 2 minutes to go, and by 6 with under a minute to go. Somehow, St. Louis scrapes and claws its way back to a 97-95 victory.
Well, Cyclops, the only thing worse than St. Louis's defense was Phoenix's late game IQ. I mean, so many broken plays at the end of it. Blew a layup. I mean, Jerky had that thunderous dunk, but outside of that, there was a lot of empty possessions. You said it. They led by 8. They led by 8 in the fourth quarter. Under 2 minutes to play. Those are the games that you should win. You should win that game. And St. Louis, somehow, someway, Tyler Gaines. I mean, he's had so many moments in this league, Cyclops. He's a phenomenal player. But this is a one for the... This is one term. This will go in the career highlight... No, this will go in the Hall of Fame induction highlight reel.
Big statement, but it certainly feels like a big shot, especially because this was going to be a statement victory on the road for the Firebirds. Go to a top Eastern Conference team with multiple All-Stars that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You take your new squad and you beat them in their home stadium on the first game of the season. Until Tyler Gaines and the Archers showed up big time in the last minute. 2 huge shots. We're going to talk a lot about that shot to win the game, but how about this shot when we rewind the tape with under 30 seconds to go? Gaines passed up the initial look from downtown. Well, after the Bass miss, they got the rebound. Gaines passes up an open look, gets it back, and then decides to put it up and knocks it down again. 2 huge shots with 10 seconds or fewer to go to win the game for the Archers.
Well, he's 6 points in 10 seconds to win the game for Tyler Gaines, and it's just unbelievable for end of game scenario for Tyler Gaines. But I wanted to harp on what you said. This was a statement win for Phoenix. They had it. They had 8-point lead with under 2 minutes to play. You go on the road against a really good team that was in the conference finals the year before. This is the prove-it moment that you wanted. And you did everything possible to lose the game. Empty possessions, a disorganized offense, missed free throws. You had it and lost it. And part of that blame has to go to Beef Jerky for being invisible. But this team, you know, they looked good. And I'm not going to say that because of how it ended, they didn't look good. But it calls into question tough moments. And there's a reason to watch this team in tough moments now. Because now we have a reason to doubt them. And it's only one game. It's a long season, Cyclops. I'm not delusional. I know they have a long time before the playoffs. A long time before that these games catch up to them if they keep happening. Again, it's only one game.
Absolutely, only one game at the end of it.
You can't deny that this was a game that they had in their hands and lost on their own accord.
Absolutely. And just a phenomenal game all around. Really couldn't have asked for a better start to the season. For St. Louis now, this is a team that has been maligned for choking in big moments. On the primetime stage here, came back in the clutch to win it. Salty, does this change your outlook about the team at all, or are you just going to say this is more on Phoenix for losing it at the end and say that St. Louis has not really proven anything to you here?
I think that St. Louis has proven they have made a statement. They have gotten better, maybe even better than their Pierre Purdue days. I'm going to say a hot take right now, and that Phoenix ain't winning jack shit. How do you choke this badly 6-point game 1 minute to go, and you somehow lost it with your reigning MVP, Beef Jerky, guy that helped get both Bozzoni and Chalmers there, only get like 6 points. You are an MVP caliber center. No, you are the MVP. You took so little shots. You had 6 points. You're the co-stars you recruited outperformed you so heavily. It is insane. It's just brutal.
And
God
it should be noted
damn.
about those co-stars, no points from Chambers or Bozzoni in the last 2 minutes of the game.
You know, I want to take a second. Because I've had a chance to rant, and then you asked Salty about St. Louis, and he didn't really give an answer about St. Louis, which is understandable. There's a lot to say about Phoenix, but for St. Louis, I do think that they deserve credit for this, right? I think it's easy to say Phoenix choked this game away, and they did. I'm not discrediting the fact that they did do that. But the other team also has to win. They have to put together the plays to win. It was still an 8-point deficit. They did that. They made plays. They got shots. Tyler Gaines hit 2 of huge threes in a row, including a 3 that was damn near a logo shot. They made winning plays. But to answer your question, does this prove anything as a team that's been known to choke? The answer is no. You want to know why, Cyclops? Because this was a regular season game. These moments are great for them to practice, though. I loved seeing them go in this situation and find a way to win, because this is something they need practice on, because the playoffs, everything is 10 times harder in the playoffs, Cyclops. You know this. Everything is 10 times harder in the playoffs and 20 times harder in the finals. It is never easy to do this. They deserve a lot of credit for making the shots they had to make. Phoenix did choke, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of discussion about what happened for Phoenix, but I do want to just take a second to all the St. Louis fans watching this broadcast, watching us talk about Phoenix. Y'all deserve this win because y'all made the plays, and you should be excited because this was a moment where you saw your best player say, I am the best player on the court, and he definitely was tonight.
He certainly was. Wrapping up here, we'll take a quick look at the box score. Hard to analyze a game that was as close as this beyond those last 2 minutes, but there will be some insights, of course, that can stick out to us as we get into the box score on this one. Erasmo Mendoza, I do want to say for Phoenix, despite missing those free throws at the end, crucial free throws that wound up being the difference in the game. He was superb in the starting point guard spot. Jamie Spencer coming off the bench for the first time as a member of the Phoenix organization, put up 17 points. Very solid from him. Beef Jerky and Justin Taylor, a combined 6 points and minus 15 in their debut game with this new roster. Tough look for the Phoenix front court.
As we look at this, though, Cyclops, this reminds me of something that I had forgotten to mention, which was the free throw disparity. That mattered throughout this game. We saw it so much for St. Louis. They were not good at keeping their hands to themselves when they were trying to put a hand in front of the opposing player. You had that advantage in your Phoenix, and so when you mentioned Mendoza, I think he deserves a lot of props. I know he's going to get slack for the missed free throws. I don't blame this on him. I truthfully don't, because you lost the game when you gave up the advantage. The entire 2 minutes matters. And a lot of times, people look at the final play or the final 2 plays of the last 2 minutes. No, the entire 2 minutes matter, because that's momentum. And St. Louis had grabbed momentum once they came back from an 8-point deficit with that little time to play. The game was lost before he stepped to the free throw line. And for Phoenix to have such an advantage on the free throw line, it just hurts for them. 16-8. They had double the free throws. It's just not though for Phoenix.
And St. Louis missed as many free throws despite taking half as many, which is huge.
Yeah. I mean, St. Louis won this game with tough shot making, and they deserve so much props for that. But and that's really the difference here. That is, I think, why St. Louis comes away with this win, because they won on the tough shots. And I'm not discrediting the points you earn at the free throw line. I'm not gonna call into question whether they were fouls or not. I'll let the fans debate that. But they won this game on tough shot making, and those are the players, guys like Tyler Gaines, who make buzzer beater threes from full court, not full court, half court.
Absolutely,
from half court. Those are the guys that win you tough games.
Tough to take away a lot from a game in which you almost shot 70% and you end up losing by 2. But Salty, do you have any particular notes for Phoenix going forward here? So things you felt like they could have done better besides, not choke the game?
Give Beef Jerky some more shots. I'm still not going to give up the fact that he only has 6 points. Oh, and Justin Taylor, I'm going to get on your ass. 9 minutes, 1 shot attempt, 0 points. You had 2 rebounds. Prime cardio numbers, boy. Prime cardio numbers. You are better off just getting on the treadmill and running it in the team facility while the game is playing. Because holy shit, you are some ass.
Certainly was a struggle for Taylor and just the front court in general, as I mentioned, minus 15. Last thing I wanted to point out as we take a look at St. Louis's side of the box score, obviously it was Tyler Gaines who really put it together for them. But Joey Bass, 9 points, 8 assists. A couple of those assists came in the last moments of the game when they really needed it. And Big Pippy, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Excellent performance from him. And last bit, of course, the bench, generally quiet, but Alex Garza and Jared Anderson kept them in the game in the fourth quarter when they were falling out of it. Big performance from St. Louis, a testament to their depth.
also Stoner. He deserves his props off the bench as well. But
yeah,
I'm
not going to give him as much credit for the 2 awful fouls that made them almost fall out of the game.
I mean that's true. That's true. But you're right. You're right. I'll concede my point. But for Big Pippi, I thought he was the second best player on the team today. Like I thought he was making impact from the beginning of the game. I thought he made I think he made the most difference beside Tyler Gaines. Obviously not taking anything away from Anderson, who did keep them in the game in the fourth quarter. You're right, absolutely right about that. But Big Pippi, like he's not a flashy player. When you look at him, he's not a guy that does a bunch of flashy things.
He's not going to hit a half-court 3 to win the game.
He's not going to hit a half-court 3 to win the game. But he's effective. And effective players win basketball games, and that's what he helped do tonight. I was very happy to see him perform. I've been a fan of him since he played in Boston. So it's nice to see him perform at that level. Nice to see Tyler Gaines hit half-court shots, obviously. Who doesn't love a half-court shot? But I feel good for St. Louis if I'm a fan right now, if I'm a player, because they went out there and they took a tough one that probably shouldn't have been that tough at home, if we're being honest, but they made it what could have been a very long practice section at the facility a lot sweeter.
Absolutely. That is going to conclude this coverage of the first game of this Season 9 HLA season. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back in the future with more primetime productions. We can only hope live up to the excitement of this one. For Salty and Assassin for a quality game, and for Genke and Jack Cole and everybody in the Commissioner's office, this is Cyclops Inc. Thank you so much. We'll see you sometime soon.